Hi everyone, my name is Lakshya Kumar, and today I'll be talking to you about some of the other facts which can help you prepare for CAT 2020. Considering that we have just 40 days left, I think this session might be helpful for people who are aiming to get those 7-8 marks extra, which can lead to a huge change in the profile, which can lead to a huge change in the CAT percentile as well. So I think that this would be helpful for those students. Moreover, I'll be giving you 3 tips which I believe can create this difference. Right? So let's move on. Let's first have a discussion. First, I'll just introduce myself. I'm Lakshya Kumar. I'm currently a PGP1 at IIM Calcutta. I'll be graduating in the year 2022. In CAT 2019, I had 99.99 percentile, and I was the All India non-engineering topper. So this is how I would like to go about this. What I would want is first, I've had my introduction part. I'll tell you a couple more things about me so that you can know where I'm coming from, what's my perspective, what was I thinking when I gave CAT, what were my objectives out of CAT and MBA in particular. Second, I'll have those 3 lessons, 3 power tips for CAT, which I definitely think are important for any CAT aspirant. They're way too important to miss out on. And I think those 3 tips, if you work hard for the next 40 days on those 3 parameters, you can definitely score at least 10 more marks, 10 to 12 more marks, leading to a good increase in the percentile. Because we know how difficult it is. Like even a mark can change a percentile. So we have those 10 marks, which I believe would be very valuable for you. Next, I would have journey so far at IIM Calcutta. I think these photos and these discussion at the point 3 would help motivate you. And at the last, we'll have some doubts, whatever you have pertaining to anything. It can be about CAT, it can be about MBA in general, it can be also about the interviews and how to go about it. And they can also be about my journey. So if you want to, I'm open to all doubts. Right, I'll be first moving to something about myself. The first one being that I am an undergrad from Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies, which is a part of DU. I'm a major in finance and my course was Bachelor's of Management Studies, right? So considering that I'm a fresher and I graduated in 2020 only from Shahid Sukhdev College, I could have just completed a couple of internships, which I did. So my internships include one at Niti Aayog, which is the former Planning Commission of India, and one at IDBI Capital, which is an investment banking firm. As I told you, I had a 99.99 percentile in CAT. Individually, if you break it down section wise, I had a 99.98 in VARC, a 99.98 in DILR, and a 99.7 in the Quant section. Right? So I have added a couple of photos, and I think these are majorly to motivate you some way or the other. So the first one in the black hoodie is the one when I just joined my undergrad college, and I was looking forward to. I was not decided upon what I have to do post my undergrad. Like, should I go for an MBA? Should I go for a job? The one on the blue suit, the one on the right, is when I was actually giving interviews of IIMs post the CAT. So this is my photo during that. And the last one, the one wearing the black suit, is my first photo that I uploaded on IIM Calcutta website, the web server where all the students have to upload their photo. So essentially 3 photos pertaining to 3 different years. And yes, my journey throughout them can be somewhat seen. So this is all about me. Right. So before I come to this slide, I'll just go back to the earlier one. Before I come to the next slide, I want you to realize that it is very important for you to have some structure while preparing for CAT. Now, this structure can come from yourself, like you know what your strengths and weaknesses are, or this structure can probably come via a lot of people who are giving advices to you. You pick up which one do you want to take, and then you have a sort of structure. Considering that we have 40 days left, so most of the marathon is over. What is left is just 1 or 2 laps of that where you have to sprint. Now I'm using the term sprint very willingly, and I acknowledge that this sprint is going to be tough. It's going to be tiring, and no one's going to deny that. Even I am not. But what is important is that you maintain that caliber, maintain that structure, and stick to it, right? So I'll move on to the 3 power tips, which are, I believe, very important for you to at least note. Right, and I believe all those who are watching it right now, or all those who might watch this video in the coming days before CAT 2020, will definitely have some benefit. And I can guarantee you will definitely have those 5 to 10 marks difference. And I'll be happy to welcome you to Joka if you. Joka is IIM Calcutta, by the way. So I'll be happy to welcome you to Joka if you probably use those tips and get high marks and then convert your IIM Calcutta. I'll be happy to welcome you there. Right. So let's move on to the power tips. Let's go for the first one. Right. This is something very commonly said, that motivation is the golden road of success. Now, as broad as that this might sound, right now, when you have 40 days left, this is the most important thing for you. Do not get demotivated. Now, what are the sources of demotivation for you? Let's say you're giving a couple of mock tests, right? And you get your scores, you have the pandemic going on, it's already, the environment is not suitable for studies, and you have all that rush going on with a lot of your friends preparing, a lot of competition budding up, plus you're getting your mock scores which might not be up to the mark. So this is where this demotivation stems from, right? Let me just tell you this, that it is very much feasible, it is very much likely that you might not be scoring up to your expectations. But this expectation part, you should strive for higher expectations out of each mock test. Let's say you're aiming for 99 percentile. Let's say that's your aim, and right now you got 96 percentile in one of the mock tests. Now, I understand that 3-4 percentile marks is not a big difference, but let me just tell you that there is still a difference. There's still a parity point which you have to reach, right? So this particular phenomena needs to be covered. And how do you cover that? By staying motivated. Now what you do is, when you get that mock test, when you probably have a source of demotivation, it can be mock test, it can be one of your friends who's scoring very well. I understand that particular thing. I understand how we go through this phase wherein people around you are discussing about it, whereas you have probably not completed the topic or are not scoring up to the mark. And I understand that this sort of creates some difficulty in yourself, right? Trust me, every single one of us goes through it. All the toppers, even a CAT topper, goes through the same experience, right? And let me just read the last line for you. The crowd loves an underdog. The crowd being all the society around you, all the friends around you, someone who was scoring low, probably in the 80s, if that's 80 percentile, 70 percentile, and then on the day of CAT, he scores 99, 95, 96 percentile. So this bigger score. So the crowd loves an underdog, and probably this will help you stay motivated. The next 40 days are for you to make one final effort and please that crowd. Now the crowd for you might include just your parents, your family, or just you yourself. It can also be a wider crowd. It can also be your friends if you're looking to impress them some way or the other. I definitely get that. I get that you might have a couple of people who you want to show that, yes, I'm capable of something. I decided on that task and now I have achieved that task. So yes, the crowd would be very much pleased if you get that percentile, and hence I request you to make the efforts towards this motivation part. Now, there are two ways to get motivated. One would be definitely your friends. Now, for me, what happened was I had a circle of 3 to 4 friends, and we used to discuss everything and anything. It can be about CAT doubts. It can be about how we are feeling. It can be about what we are liking about the CAT, how the situation is going on. Random conversations. You can have that sort of a group. You can probably make you can make a group of 2 to 3 friends and discuss whatever you want to discuss with them. Primarily doubts, that's given, but yes, feel free to open up, right? The second one can be, if not friends, go for your parents. I think they are a big source of inspiration. My father and my parents both, but definitely there for me alongside every point in CAT, be it preparation, be it the CAT examination, be it post-CAT as well. So find someone who can do that for you. For me, it was my parents. For you, it can be your sibling. For you, it can be your spouse if you are married. For you, it can be your friend if you have a good friend. So you can have some sort of a someone who motivates you to get through, because you will face downhill battles. You will have certain defeats, because that is what the journey is. But the journey is also about the fact that if you rise from those defeats, and everyone goes through the defeat, right? So every single topper has to go through that phase where he's not scoring as much. Right? And if you see that, if you are able to come through that, then let me just tell you, the road ahead is very smooth and pleasing. Like, I feel very happy right now where I am, and I definitely would love to welcome you guys to the experience that I am getting at an IIM, one of the top B schools of the country, because that is worth it. That is worth all the efforts that you're putting in right now, right? So this is not very vague. I hope this is not vague. I hope you guys understand how demotivation and motivation work for you. I hope you take note of this, because this will definitely lead to about 10 to 12 marks difference. And trust me, that marks difference is a big difference. I think you realize that already, but let me just reiterate that this is a big difference. And I am someone who experienced this last year. So trust me when I say that I have gone through the same road, and I understand how you're coming from, how you're feeling, right? Now, we have the next two tips. The next two ones are confidence, and we have the third one as body clock and practice. Right. So first off, I'll talk about confidence. Right. I have seen someone who had 88 percentile, and she went on to score 99 percentile in her actual CAT, and now is one of my fellow peers at IIM Calcutta. Now, when I see this journey, of someone scoring in 80s in the box and actually scoring 99 percentile in her finals, I can see and I can tell you firsthand that practice is the key. Practice is the key. Moreover, you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to be motivated. So this point 2 stems from point 1 only. You have to be motivated. You have to feel confidence in yourself. Now, let me tell you where confidence comes into picture. When you're giving the when you're giving the actual CAT, I think it's 2 hours for you guys. It was 3 hours for me. Those 3 hours for me were not as smooth as you would think they were. Like, when I opened up the VR section, I felt low because it was difficult for me to understand that. Then I went to DILR, again, it was something difficult. I still was feeling low. Then Quants was slightly easy, I felt high. So there was ups and downs during those 3 hours as well. Moreover, what happens is, when you're giving the test, you have to arrive about an hour before the test starts, right? So let's say if your test is from 10 a.m., you have to arrive at 9 a.m. When you're sitting for 1 hour in front of your computer desk in a room full of people who are competing against you, the feeling, the emotion is definitely difficult to grasp, right? And the low confidence can creep in right now and can probably spoil all your hard work in the past, right? So if you don't have confidence during those 2 to 3 hours, for me 3 hours, for you guys 2 hours, then let me just tell you that you would not score up to your expectation, and that's the worst thing. Like, when you are prepared for, let's say, 150 marks, but you're not able to score 150 because you were low, you could not perform well during the exam. And why is that so? Why is that? Because I've seen people telling me this, that they have prepared the topic, but they're not able to score well in mocks, right? Moreover, I can see a couple of comments coming in, so I'll be happy to answer your doubts. You can type your doubts right now as well. I'll take them up later. I'll collate and take them up later, right? So talking about confidence again, yes, I've seen people who say that they have prepared for subjects, but not able to score as high, right? So this is because of the fact that they are low on confidence. Like, confidence can be one of the major factors. I'm not saying that all of them have it, but yes. So this can be one of the major factors. So to prepare yourself that during those 2 hours, I will not let myself waver. If I have, let's say, one particular section which is difficult, I would not let that translate into the next set. So for example, VARC was difficult. For you, DILR would be a clean slate. You would not have that mindset that, yes, I am doomed now because VARC I could not complete. Please don't have that, because this will be your downfall if you have that, right? So make sure that whenever you start a section, whenever you start a new question within the section as well, you don't have that burden of the previous question in your mind. Mark it for review, you can come back to it later, but don't have that burden, right? Now, coming on to the third tip. So what we'll do is, I have reiterated this several times during a lot of videos, that body clock is very important. Now, where does body clock come into picture? Let's say your exam is from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30. Sorry, for you guys it would be 12:30 a.m. 2 hours exam, right? 10:30 to 12:30, right? But you don't wake up as early, right? So what will happen is that your body would not be accustomed to that particular time frame. What I'll suggest is, you have 40 days left. You also probably have your admit cards coming in, or you have a certain idea about what time slot you will get, or as and when you get the time slot, what you do is start practicing, start giving a mock test during that time slot. Let's say for me it was 2:30 to 5:30. I used to give a mock test every day for the last 20-30 days during that time slot, right? Do that because that will create a habit. You will be habitual to attempting VRC from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. That was my habit. That yes, when I read a topic, I'll be in the VRC mood. From 3:30, I'll shift the clock to DILR mood, and I had to set that. It came from rigorous practice. I was practicing every day a mock test. For the past 30 days, I was practicing a mock test, and that's how it came. It does not come easy, right? And the last part of this is practice, right? I've been talking about body clock, and I think this is related to the practice part as well. So up till now, if you have given mock tests, well and good. Please do analyze them. For those who haven't or have not given mock test up to a mark, I believe up to 10, essentially you have to have given mock test. Abhi tak you should have given 10 mock tests. Moreover, the next 40 days, you can give at least 10-15 more mock tests. That's the very least. Moreover, it's not the time to start studying new topics unless you are sure that you have not read the topic and it's very essential. Let's say you have not read numbers and you think that numbers are essential part of the CAT. So you have to read numbers. That's not going to, so you have to do that, right? If you have completed the booklets once, what you do is start revising the booklet. Don't go to a new book. Don't switch to a new book. Let's say you were doing book 1 in Quants, stick to book 1. Don't switch to book 2 just because your friends are doing book 2. Right? Practice here also means revision. And this is where it comes from. Because you have to be very fast. For me, it was 1 hour. For you guys, it's 40 minutes. So it's going to be very difficult for you guys as well. Actually, more difficult for you guys. So what you will do is, that for the 40 minutes, you have to practice as quickly as possible. Now, what I did was, even when attempting or doing questions from the booklet, I used to have a stopwatch besides me. You can use your phone stopwatch. And used to measure like I took 3 minutes for this question. In the booklet, generally there is a question which is repeated. The basic nature of the question remains the same, but the question data values change. And then I would realize when I was attempting the second question, I did that in 2 minutes 30 seconds. So there's a 30 seconds gap. Now you might not realize this right now, but 30 seconds is a big deal. Within 30 seconds, you can those 30 seconds cumulative, like when you add them up to the last point, those become a big deal, and that is when you probably scored answer 2 or 3 more questions and resulting in 10 marks extra. So practice on speed. Now you can ask me questions on the chat as well about how do you want to improve your speed in specific sections or specific questions. You can also ask me about which mock test should you give or what sort of mock test analysis should you go for. But this is the basic journey. These are the basic 3 rules: motivation, confidence, body clock, and practice. These 3 things are essential, and I can definitely tell you that these will lead to higher marks than what you were earlier getting. And if you are, let's say, lucky enough, and if you come to IIM Calcutta, you join that college, I'll be happy to welcome you. And yes, we can have a blast there if and when you join that college, right? So next up, I have a couple of photos just to motivate you about how my campus looks, even though I have myself not been there because of the situation. But yes, I think these photos might motivate you. I have a couple of numbers, average package and firms that come in so that you stay motivated. You see the dream that awaits you. You see the life that awaits you. And this might help you, push yourself. Because 40 days is nothing. I have seen people working hard for the 1 year. So you cannot say that 40 days is large time and I cannot work hard for 40 days. Buddy, that's not going to fly past. You have to work hard for the next 40 days, right? And I understand that you guys might have time as well, especially for freshers or people who are working. Probably they have much more time at hand right now because they are at the comfort of their homes. I hope that's the case for you guys and you are able to work harder because everyone else is doing so. And I'm being serious about this when I say that everyone else is doing so because you have to prove yourself. When you prove yourself, and the journey that awaits you is this: a beautiful building, a beautiful campus. This is one of the hostels that we have. It's called Lakeview Hostel. So yes, I'll just tell you that IIM Calcutta is called the campus of 7 lakes. We have 7 lakes in our campus. So this is one of the like pretty photos that we have, I could say that we are the prettiest campus, but I think it would be a biased view. I would not want to say that. But yeah, definitely amongst the beautiful campuses that we have great greenery that you can enjoy. And I'm just focusing on the life that you have. And yes, this is a drone view. This is a drone view of how the campus looks like. We have all sorts of activities that go on, even though it's virtual for us right now. We have very caring PGP2s who PGP2 means second years. We have very caring second years who advise you about every step of life. We have great faculty members, and at the last, we have great peer set. Out of the 480 people that we have in our batch, we'll find someone who's a national level squash player, who has written a book, who is some. So we have all sort of people coming in, and you find that group that you're looking for. Let's say you are particular individual A and you find that this is the group for you, and you will find that group. You will find some people who have similar taste as you. So you will enjoy that. Now, if scenery does not attract you, if the building does not attract you, let me get to numbers, right? So we have a great, so like all IIMs, I think we have decent salary packages. We have great numbers attached to it. We have a good number of firms that come in. I'm just trying to motivate you towards the life that awaits you. Life that awaits you after you just work hard for 40 days. Now that's a good trade-off, isn't it? Working hard for 40 days and then having this sort of a life, right? With 480 of the top minds of India working with you, and you get to learn from them, you get to improve yourself, and then yes, definitely get to enjoy yourself with greatest of the peers out there. Now I'll be happy to take your doubts. I can see a couple of doubts coming in already on the live chat. I'll be looking at the chat. Right. Ahana, thank you. Yes, I can see the handle is Football Made Easy. I hope you have a different name. So yes, I said 4 sections should be there. There are 4 sections in CAT, and why I said that was because, like I told you, your VARC, DILR, and Quants are the 3 sections that you all prepare for. That's a given. But the 4th one for us would be the CAT preparation, the test preparation strategy. Now, what do I mean with test preparation? I essentially covered them during the motivation part. Test preparation essentially means that you have to give mocks and analyze them, right? If you have difficulty analyzing your mocks, please write in the comments so that I can probably answer that, because otherwise I'll just assume that you guys know about this and I'll skip that to answer the other questions. Ahana says that, all right, thank you, Ahana. All right, Bhumit, I can see that you feel disturbed, you feel distracted during mock tests, giving tests. Now, I'll tell you what. This happens to everyone. Like when I remember when I was reading one of the VARC passages, and it was about, let's say, space travel. Now I started thinking about like how would space travel be feasible? How much feasible would it be in the next 10 years? Would space tourism be very active or not? Now these sort of thoughts creep in, and I can tell you this is not just you. What's the difference between an aspirant and someone who has cleared CAT with a good percentile is that I learned how to control these thoughts. Now, for me, my thoughts revolve around the passage only. Let's say the passage is about space travel and it talks about, let's say, a couple of firms who are going for space travel. I'll start thinking about that particular stuff only, right? And I will not give myself time to get distracted. I'll read the next line, and the next line says that firm A is not performing well. I'll think about firm A. The next line says the firm B is performing well. I'll think about firm B. Then they will give reasons for that. I'll think about the reasons. So not let my mind get distracted. One. Second, it is very easy to get distracted when you are sitting in a room of, let's say, 200, 300 people. That is your center. All focusing on the screen, and you just feel some sort of nervousness and you try to look around, and that is when you start getting distracted, right? What I suggest is that when you're practicing for your mock test, make sure that during those 3 hours you don't tilt your head towards left and right. You focus on the screen itself. Your only change should be writing on paper or looking at the screen. That's the only thing, Bhumit. I hope that answers your question. If not, then you can type on the comments and I'll be happy to answer them again in much more detail. Now, Sanjalika says that 10 to 15 mocks are enough. Now, I cannot say that this is enough. The reason I cannot say this is because it depends upon individual to individual, right? And why do I say so? Why do I say so? Because for someone who's, let's say, a genius, he can give just 5 mock tests and be and be accustomed to CAT pattern. For me, I gave 50 mock tests. Now, I'm not saying that I am not a genius or I am stupid to give 50 mock tests. My main contention was that I had to set my body clock. Now, I was very accustomed to afternoon siestas, afternoon naps. And I did not want that. And my exam was during 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. And I did not want that. So what I did was I gave 20 mock tests in the last 20 days so that I do not sleep during CAT. I don't have even a single thought about sleep during the last 20-30 days about sleeping. So that was my reason for giving CAT mock tests. One. Second, when you give mock tests, let's say I gave 50 mock tests, I had 34 questions from Quant. That's the number, right? 34 questions for Quant. So about 50 into 34, that's about 1500. So I solved 1500 questions extra, apart from the ones who have not given mock tests. So I think that created a difference. I think that's the difference between someone who scored 99.1 versus 99.99. I think that's the difference. I attempted more, I practiced more, and I had a very set body clock. I'll do CAT and nothing else. I'll have no other thought apart from CAT. Right? I have Soumya Tiwari messaging that how to increase speed in LRDI. Great question. Great question. Now I'll tell you why. LRDI has always been the black box. You never know how you're going to perform in that. Right? Why do I say so? Because when I gave LRDI, what my strategy was, I'll take the first 8 minutes. Now again, this is for 1 hour LRDI. It's not for 40 minutes LRDI. You can probably dilute down the time towards 40. But for 1 hour LRDI, it was about 8 minutes, nothing more than that, for just looking at all the sets. I look at all the 8 sets. That's what we have, about a minute each, and classify them as easy, medium, and hard. Now I'll start off with the easy sets. Now, how do you increase your speed on that? You can remember the ratios. 1 upon 3, 1 upon 4, 1 upon 5 are something that everyone remembers. 1 upon 6, 16.67. 1 upon 7, 14.28, 1 upon 8, 1 upon 9, 1 upon 10, someone remembers, 1 upon 11, up till 1 upon 20, you can remember all these ratios. And when you remember these ratios, you can grasp everything quickly. How? Let's say in a data interpretation set, what you get is a tabular form, and you say that product A, there are 3 products, product A has a market share of 14.28%. Now, I quickly remember that this is 1 by 7. Product A has 1 by 7 of the market share. This will help me calculate. Instead, probably someone who does not remember this will have to write 0.1428 into 100 or something of that sort. So he must have to do calculations. Whereas for me, it might become 1 upon 7 into whatever the number is, whatever the calculation is. Right? So this becomes easy. This becomes very easy to compute. So yes, remember all the ratios. Remember squares up till 20, 19 square, 16 square, all that stuff. Remember cubes up till 8 or 9. So these are 3 things. Now, apart from that, start practicing via hand. I believe the calculator is not the best way to go ahead with, because even on-screen calculator takes time. Like when you type on screen, it takes time. Instead, let's say you have a very good habit of calculating on hand, using your hand, it would be faster. That is what my belief is. Certainly for difficult numericals, let's say 4 into 4 multiplication, 4 digits into 4 digits multiplication, you would use a calculator. You would not want to go by hand. But yes, for certain calculation, let's say 19 into 8, you should remember that. You should not use a calculator. 19 into 19, 17 into 17, 289. Should not use calculators. That's for sure. Right, I'll move on. If you still have a doubt, Soumya, you can definitely text on the chat. Next, we have how much important is. I didn't get LOD3, LOD2. Bhumit, it would be better if you probably explain what LOD2 and LOD3 are. I am slightly out of touch, I guess. Yes, Abhiraj. Is your question? Can you talk about how we can improve accuracy in VARC? Now, buddy, this question has been asked to me about if that's a conservative estimate, 100 times. Why? As you can see, I had a good percentile. I had a 99.98 percentile in VARC, and I maintained that even during my mocks. Like I had a good percentile even during my mocks, and a lot of my friends used to come up and ask me about this particular phenomena. And the only thing I could tell them was that you have to give more time to the questions, right? Let's say you have question 1, you read the problem statement. Now, upon reading the problem statement, you will have a couple of thoughts, right? You read the problem statement 1 again. You will have different thoughts, and that is what the phenomenon was happening for every single one of us. So let me just ask you, Abhiraj, when you attempt your mock test again, so you have attempted the mock test, you got the result, but then when you look at the mistakes, do you find that your mistakes were um, the questions were not as difficult as you thought, and when you attempted them again, you could actually get the right answer? If that is the case, then your problem is very common, and it is about giving more time on the question. If anyone amongst the people watching or who will watch the video feel that when they give the mock test, they're not able to solve the question, but whenever they have when attempted again, that is when they're able to solve it, then the solution for this is give more time to the question. Now, how do you give more time to the question? You improve your speed. How do you improve your speed? Now, I think reading speed can be improved by the fact that you start reading on laptops. Now, what happens is that we prepare from books, and hence we have a book reading speed. Whereas I believe the screen reading speed or reading speed on laptops is somewhat different. Like I was not accustomed to reading on laptops, to be honest. I found it difficult slightly to read on laptops. But I think I developed that. I developed that flair over a span of 40, 50 days, 2, 3 months. But you still have 40 days, and I think it's very much feasible to develop that fear. You have to do it. So even when you are practicing mock test, don't take a printout. Uh, give a mock on your laptop only, right? Abhiraj, if you still feel there's some doubt, text, right? Please text on the chat. Now Sonam asks, so how to analyze mocks to find weaknesses and improve my speed, right? Now, what happens when you give a mock? You will now a lot of institutes give you the percentile, right? A lot of institutes give you your absolute scores. For this phase, that is the last phase, the absolute scores matter less and the percentiles matter more. Now, why do I say so? Because I think I had the exact same thing during the first phase. Like when you were, let's say, giving mock tests in March, April, I would have said absolute score matters more and percentile matters less. For now, what happens is when you, let's say, get 20 marks out of 102 in a particular section, you might think that they are not good. But when you compare the uh, paper quality, you find the paper was very tough, and everyone else also felt that. It's not just you, and that is when you realize that okay, so it's not just my fault. It's a fault of the paper setter. He set the paper too high, difficulty level too high. So this is one. Now, how do I analyze my strengths and weaknesses? Right. So one, you compare a percentile with that group of friends that you had, right? If you have 2, 3 friends who are at the same level, who are dedicated towards CAT, who have a similar background as yours, and then you can discuss with them, like, buddy, I scored 25 marks. How much was your scores? And they tell you, I had 35 marks. Then you compare. Why is the disparity of 10 marks? What's the difference? Did they attempt RC more? Did they attempt VA more? And if you find out, let's say RC is the difference, then you start reading more books, you start reading more RC, you start practicing harder. That is how you identify your weaknesses. So your sample can be percentile, or your sample can be your friends who have a similar background, who are as dedicated as you for CAT. That's for sure, right? Next, I have a doubt from Nidhi. Can you please tell me about the packages after graduating from IIM, sir? Nidhi, I would like to talk about the packages. I think I showed you the numbers for it. This is from the IIM Calcutta Placement Report 2020. The average package was 28 lakhs, medium salary 25.5. The top 10 salaries, or the top were about 54 lakhs. These go as high as this. And the top quartile was 41 lakhs. Now, all I'm saying is these numbers were not like you will, as soon as you join Calcutta, you will get a 40 lakh package. This is what not I'm implying. All I'm implying is that you have the opportunities to get certain packages. You have the opportunities to test out best of the best firms. You have all the big firms that you can think of: McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Microsoft, Amazon, all these firms, P&G, HUL coming, and you can talk about them. You can discuss with your seniors as to which firm suits you, which profile suits you, and then you can take a call about your job. All I can tell you is that it's a it's something that you will enjoy. You will face difficulties, you will struggle, but yes, in the end, I think you will probably enjoy this journey, because IIM Calcutta is going to be fun for you. Joka is going to love you for like Joka is a fun campus, so you would love that. Um, Now we have next question from Vinny. I didn't give any mock test yet, so now having one mock. Buddy, I would not say that you should give 40 mock tests. That's not what I'm telling you. All I'm saying is that you give mock test as in when you're comfortable. At least 10 should be a deal. At least 10, 15 should be for you, because you have not given a mock test up till now. At least 10, 15, please do. You can give once in 3 days, once in 2 days, as much as possible. Considering that I'm assuming, Vinny, that you have completed your syllabus by now, because if you're not giving mock test, you were probably working on a syllabus. So it's okay. Give your mock test, identify strengths and weaknesses, and then move forward. Right? Arav says that how do you analyze 50 mock tests? I think I answered this question, Arav, when I talked about Sonam's answer. So I think this is clear. If you still have a doubt, specific doubt, please do comment. I'll answer that. Ahana says, as a non-engineer, wasn't Quant the most difficult section for you? Let me just correct this myth. Right. Quant does not equal mathematics. Right. Now, you cannot say that I am a non-engineer, let's say if you are one, and profit and loss is something that you don't know. Profit and loss is very common. Profit and loss is taught to everyone when they are in class 9th, 10th, 8th, all that class levels. This is not something that is only taught to science students or engineers, right? So I will not purchase that excuse. I will not buy that excuse of the non-engineers don't perform well in quant. Certainly that we have to practice. You have to practice harder. But the topics, the range of topics, be it profit and loss, be it numbers, be it geometry, you cannot tell me that you have not studied them. So I will not give you a pass that if you say that engineers have an edge over me because they have studied these topics more. This is not the case. So let's not go over that. So this is a very common myth. So don't feel down about that, because even I had this certain notion that yes, I will not be able to perform well in quant. Though in the end I did, and the reason was that I believed in myself. I had that confidence. No, if the topic is profit and loss, I will do the question because I am at an equal pedestal as them. So that's very important. Right, I have a lot of questions coming in. I have very less time. I have take time till 9 p.m. So I'll take up the ones that I think. I'll go order wise. Sarthak says that how to improve accuracy in RC. So yeah, RC, what happens is that when you give an RC, I think that's the major chunk of VA RC section, RCs. Now, how do you improve your accuracy? Again, you have to figure out why is your accuracy low right now. Why is your accuracy low? There can be two reasons about it. One, when you attempt the question, you go through it very quickly. You don't spend a lot of time. One. The second one can be that you don't have you are confused between two options. Now, which one is the case for you? I think when you tell me which one is the case for you, I'll be able to help you out better. So you can comment as to which one is the case for you, and I can probably answer it out specifically. Right. So I have the next doubt coming in. Which mock test have you given? Now I can name an institute for you, and I think that will not help you much. You can take any institute's mock test. That's all those are equivalent. What is important is that you figure out how many people are giving it. Let's say if institute claims that 20,000 people are giving it, then go for that. If someone says only 10,000 people or 5,000 people are giving it, then you might not have a good idea about percentile. Also, do keep in mind when you have 20,000 people giving a mock test, your percentile turns out to be 97, then expect about 99 in the actual test, because those 20,000 people are serious candidates. So don't worry about that. Take a mock test series which has much more number of participants. Sanjalika says that how many sets would you target for Eradia in 40 minutes? I would target about 4 sets. Again, this number should depend on how difficult or easy the paper is. But 40 minutes, 4 sets is something that I would like to aim for. That's a high target. Like I used to aim 5 sets for 1 hour. So yes, you can. That's the high target, but 4 sets is something that you should aim for. I hope CAT takes into account the less amount of time and yes, gives you some easy sets so that you are able to prepare and score better. Oh, LOD means level of difficulty. My fault. I'll go back to the question. LOD. How much important is LOD? Yes, I think LOD, so level of difficulty, if you have easy, one or two are more than enough. Easy and medium questions, if you're able to attempt them, that's okay. Like, don't go for hard questions right now. This is not the time for going to hard questions. What is important is that you revise your easy concepts. That's the important factor. Next is mock analysis. Always questions seem easier than attempting time. Yes, and the reason I can tell you for sure is that you don't spend enough time on question. That is the reason. Spend 30 more seconds analyzing the problem statement. Let's say you read the problem statement 1. Now you look at the options, then read the problem statement keywords again, and then again look at the options. If you feel that is the case for you, if your accuracy is down. Right? Now Shivam says, how to be more productive in a day? I'm at home full time. For me, it was listening to music. For me, it was going out with my sibling to play badminton. So these are the couple of things that I followed. But again, I was also in college during those days, and it was open for me. So whatever you do, find one activity that suits you. It can be music, it can be some sport, it can also be study dance if you want to, cook if you want to, talking to your parents, talking to your friends. Just pick one activity that will keep you productive, that will keep you. So you don't want to be too accustomed to study. You should not just sit up and study for 12 hours. Probably take breaks. Those are very important. Take an hour-long break sometimes in the middle and do your activity that you wish for, and then come back to study because you need a fresh mind. Now, number of hours is not equal to productive hours, right? So you have to be very productive during the hours that you study. So have such activity. Music is something that helped me calm down. So you can try for that. That worked for me. Sarthak, sorry. All right. So we have Vinny saying, should we attempt all the questions in VRC because it's becoming difficult? Very, again, it depends upon how quick you are. If you believe your accuracy is very low, I'll say that you focus on accuracy as well. For someone whose accuracy is already high, I would say try attempting more questions. So it depends upon where you are coming from. Sarthak, again, I have answered the accuracy part for RC. Sonam, if you have no friends, I'm assuming that when you say that you have no friends, you are saying that you have no friends who are preparing for CAT. You can look at a couple of online platforms. I know there are online platforms wherein discussion goes on about preparation and CAT. You can look for that. Moreover, if you have no friends, you can talk to your parents. I think they are a good source of inspiration. Like my parents helped me a lot during my CAT journey. So you know, talk to your parents. If you have a sibling, talk to them. Who is all I want from your side is not friends, but someone who you can talk to. For comparing percentile, you can go to online platforms. I think you can go for that. What's my stream? My stream. I don't understand the question. Stream what? I pursued Bachelor's of Management Studies. That's my stream. I'm a finance major from Bachelor's of Management Studies. Only 40 days left. What should you focus more on? Your focus should solely be on practicing. That's for sure. Shivam has a question. Am I analyze more with marks? Alright, I think I cleared this doubt. Marks versus percentile. For you should be percentile that should take priority right now because the paper might change. Right? I'll talk about Tripti's question. What should be your focus for the next 40 days? For the next 40 days, it is very important that you focus only on revision. Don't open a new book. That's the blunder you can commit, is that opening a new book, discussing new topics, right? Let's say what this happened to me as well when I was during this last phase of 20-30 days. I thought, should I go for a new topic? Like I felt geometry was difficult for me. So I thought, should I start looking for harder questions of geometry, probably on different platforms, probably on a new book. But then I kept myself back. I thought, let's just revise the basic. That is very important. You should revise your basics. That's for sure. Revise your basics. Don't go for new book. Will you? I would love to come again live. I think. I hope you guys understand. IIM Calcutta MBA is a very tiring task, and we have a lot of stuff lined up. So I was able to take out time today because we have sort of a holiday on Saturday, and luckily, fortunately, I was not busy today. I would love to come live again. But yes, I would be happy if you guys leave a feedback. I think that will help me figure out whether I should come back and give certain advices again or not. Ahana is asking, do I teach for CAT or not? So I have a couple of sessions on Unacademy. You can check that out. Or if you have specific doubts, you can reach out to me on other personal handles as well. I'll be happy to clear them. I've completed all the basic but mock scores on autumn. Harshit, this is a very important problem. Now I'll discuss why. When you're saying that you have done all the basics and you're not able to score well, what essentially means is that you're not able to translate your knowledge of the booklets into score. What comes in here is the analysis part. Pick out the mock where you scored lowest. See where you went wrong. See which section you went wrong. Let's say you went wrong in quants, right? In quants you went wrong. Why? Say the reason comes out to be, now again, this is a drilling down process. You figure out which section is wrong. You figure out what is wrong in that section. Let's say in quant you realize that you were not able to attempt the questions. You just attempted 15 questions out of the 34 and you missed out on the easy questions. Now, when you analyze this, what you will realize is that even though you attempted, even though you know all the basic concepts, what you're not able to build is speed. That's the problem for you. Now you have a new problem now. Now the problem for you is not theory, it's about speed. So you start practicing on speed. For someone else, the problem might be theory. For someone else, the problem might be distraction of minds or something of that sort. So you have to be the judge of your problem. That's very important. If CAT teaches you one thing apart from these topics is that you have to be very confident in yourself and judge your problems, take the right calls. Because essentially it's not a ball game of who is much more smarter in maths. It's not the same. It is about who attempts the question, because every single question carries the same amount of marks. So you have to be very comfortable in choosing. You have to skip questions which you think are difficult or which might take more time. For me, when I say difficult, all I mean is questions that take time. You should not assume that if it's a geometry question, it would be difficult. If it's a profit and loss question, it would be easy. What you should take into account is the time that will take. Let's say there's a question that comes in profit and loss that you have a bottle of liquid, you transfer some liquid into some other bottle, then you transfer this bottle again to some other. So there's a chain of bottles, right? Now this takes time in calculation. So you can skip that. If you feel your calculation speed is not up to the mark, skip that. Move to some other question. If you think your calculation speed up to mark, then for you it's an easy question. So easy, difficult, again depends on your individual practice. Next up we have Shivam. All right, welcome Shivam. I'm glad that I was able to help. Right, Kunal says, how much time did it take for exam preparation? Kunal, I started in February, but I think I picked up pace in July. So essentially July to November. But I enrolled back in February. So I had books back in February, but I picked up books in May. May or July, May, June, July. That's the period during the summer break. So about my exam was in November again for you guys. So 4 or 5 months. That's the amount of preparation I went through. Yes, Bhumit, I didn't see your question. How did you answer a question? Oh, PI part. So I think India, that's the handle name, Indian First. So the hobby part was something that is very unique to you. For me, my hobby is singing. Even though I don't sing well, I love to sing. So that's one of my hobbies. My hobby also includes playing table tennis. Like I like playing table tennis sometimes. I like playing badminton. So all these three things I answered in my hobby. Again, preparation for interview will come after CAT. I'm happy that you're focusing on that as well. But for now, give all your thoughts about CAT. That's for sure. Bhumit asks, completing PY questions into 2 time will be a profitable strategy or just time waste? I don't understand what PYQS. Is it problem questions? Is that what you mean? Bhumit, I would be happy if you probably help me out with that. I'll come back to your question. So again, commerce background and not being good at quant are not, this is not a correlation. I'll tell you that, that's for sure. I understand that where you're coming from, what's your mindset, but I would like you to remove that particular statement from your mindset, because profit and loss is something that commerce people do much more than engineers. Why? Because you have to balance the accounts, you have to calculate the net profits, all the ratios. So don't tell me that profit and loss is something that a BTech guy would be better at. Don't tell me that. That's for sure. So remove that mindset, because I think this confidence factor is the one that you're lacking. So work harder on quant. If you think you're not able to do quants, work harder on it. How is it possible that if you work harder on it, if you give all what you have got, you will not score well? I don't think that should be the case. If you're giving 10, 12 hours a day, because I saw a couple of people mentioning 12 hours a day, and you're productive, I don't see any reason as to why you might score low. So give your best. 40 days are left. It should be a sprint for you. Tripti asks, how can we contact you? I think this session is a good medium of contacting me. Apart from that, you can see on the screen, I am available on the personal handles as well to contact and discuss. How can I stay motivated during preparations? Joy, for me, it was talking to my friends and parents. That is how I remained motivated. Whenever I used to feel nervous, I used to listen to music. Like I had a couple of playlists, pump up playlist, or that wacky songs which you listen to, so that uh, you get confident. So that was my playlist and talking to friends. This is how I remained calm during the preparation phase. I hope you get the same. I hope this works for you. If not songs, probably something else might work for you. Uh, Sujit Namidio, I left out in quants when I was in 10th. So again, up till 10th is the required standard for CAT. So don't worry about leaving out quants or mathematics. They will not ask you integration. They will not ask you differentiation. So that is for sure. So don't worry about that, Sujit. All right. The next, I have a lot of intra chat people commenting. I don't see the doubts. Arpan, I cannot say that. Yes, I had difficulty in every particular section. Maths is not. I'll say this. Let's call it quants, right? The difficulty in quants for me was the speed, right? I wanted to attempt all 34 questions. I wanted to attempt as much as possible out of these 34, right? So I worked on speed. I worked on learning all these 1/7, 1/6 that helped me in quants. I picked up the easy questions. For me, it was not a battle of ego. Let's say you have worked hard on geometry, and when you see a geometry question, you think, "Nahi, I have worked hard on it, so I'll do that question." No, this should not be the case. You should just stay there, think about it, whether this will take time or not. If it takes time, skip, move ahead. This is not a test. This is a test of your ego. If you're able to skip the question, that is better. Shivam, I am having very low marks in academia. 80, 65, 55, no work-ex, but written 2 books on very fiery topics in today's time and started and failed in few startups. Is my profile good enough for IIM Calcutta? Now, let me tell you one fact. IIM Calcutta welcomes everyone and anyone. What you need to show is that you will contribute to that campus. You should have some flair for it. And I take pride in saying that Joka has a very good diversity of students, right? So yes, I cannot just comment about how would you be able to make it or not. You have to calculate what's the weightage this year, because I don't know the weightage this year. I didn't check the list released by IIM Calcutta. I'll say that you check the list, compare what the marks are given. Moreover, don't worry about that. Give your best at CAT. Score 100 percentile if need be. And then probably if you have scored the percentile, then you can think about whether you will get a call or not. So don't worry about that. All right. So thank you, Arpan, for the compliment. Soumya says that I have not touched maths for 6 years and I'm not preparing for CAT 20. It's just getting over my head. Soumya, considering that you have not picked up maths or quant for the past 6 years, it's very okay in the first couple of months you will have difficulty with maths and quants, if that's quants, right? But you have time. You have to work hard upon it. Like, I think there's no alternate to hard work. And as much as I would like to say that, no, you can be a genius and you can work around that, no, this is not the case. Let me just ask you this. If you work for 8 hours a day, give all that you have for that particular paper, don't you think that you will score a lot higher than what you might have scored if you did not give the effort? What I want from your side, and what I think all the IIMs are looking for, is someone who gives all his efforts, all the efforts that he can. And I'm not saying that you have to study for 16 hours a day and then get the paper done. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you should have productive hours coming in. Productive hours can include 5 hours. Like for me, it was just 2-3 hours for me, it was 5-6 hours in the last few days, right? The productive 6 hours are equivalent to 16 hours. If you can quote me on this as well, right? You have to be productive. So don't give me a span that I'm studying for 16 hours a day. I don't want that. All I want is, are you able to get through the topic or not? Are you able to focus on it or not? So that's very important. Soumya, I hope you get that. I have next question coming in from Bhagwat. Every time I look, I don't understand the question pattern part. Bhagwat, would you mind clearing that? What do you exactly mean by that? I'll pick it up. Trippi says, any tips for Eradia? Like I mentioned, I think giving the first 5-6 minutes or 8 minutes is very important. So when you give the first 5-6 minutes, and you figure out that set 1 is easy, set 2 is difficult, set 3 is medium, and you pick up the easy sets. Why do I say pick up the easy sets? Because every question has equal weightage, and you have to understand that. You have to understand that there's no ego battle going on. If you solve a hard question, it will not give you extra marks. So please have that in mind. Please focus on that. Previous year question. Oh, PYQs, previous year questions. I forgot the question already. I'll just move on ahead. Please comment again. Yes, thank you, Anna, for this wonderful support you're showing. Ritik says he's preparing for CAT 2021. Should I develop my Quant and Eradia content or go ahead with books like... Buddy, you can prepare for any books. I will not be a patron of any book and say, Patreon of any book and say that, no, go for this book one. I'll say any book, be it any institute's book, be it any particular author's book. It should cover all the topics of CAT. And I think every book in the market generally is covering all the topics. What is important is your contribution. How well are you able to study? Revise that book. Revise that book 2 or 3 times. You should remember the single approach that is there. That is very important. How should you balance mock test and revision? So how I went about it was give 1 mock test a day. That's about 3 hours. Analyze that for 1 hour. In the analysis, I would find out that I have this topic which I am not comfortable with, and then give about 1.5 or 2 hours. That's about for that topic. So let's say I am making mistakes in Quant. I study Quant for 2 hours. So 6 hours is essentially what I give. If you think you need more, give more time. There's no reason for you not to give more time, because CAT is one of the most important examinations out there. Why would you not give more time? So that's why. So if you think this is your weakness, start revising on it more. Great, Soumya. I hope you get the message across that you have to give your 100%. That's the very important part. Muskan says focusing on previous year questions is helpful. It's very helpful. It's not a waste of time. So in the mock test, it can be a mock test of an institute. It can also be previous year mock tests. That's also a previous year test. That can also be a good mock test. Do I have anything to say about the time limit of CAT? New time limit of CAT? Honestly, I don't have any specific comment about it. I think it's more of a logistics issue. They wanted more time slots so that you guys survive the pandemic. I think that's one of the things. So I hope that whatever IIM takes, I am sure that they would have given a lot of thought about it. Though I'm not aware of exact time constraints, what you guys are facing. Whatever it is, just make sure that this is common. Just realize this is common for every single one of you. So it's not like individual A is at disadvantage, individual B is at advantage. This is not the case. So it's same for all of you. And I'm sure IIMs have given it thought about how they want to go about it. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about external factors that you can't control. Level 1, 2, 3 is the username. Please reply to, it's very important. Buddy, I'm not getting the question. Please put in your question. I'll reply to that. SK Creator says give tips about VRC. I think it's a very broad topic and I would not be able to cover it because I am already running short of time. I'll be happy to connect with you on a personal handle. I think you can check my handles out and about VRC tips or any specific tips that you want. It can be interview or VRC. Arpan has a problem that he's not able to. Arpan, I think you should motivate yourself. If these photos help you, this beautiful campus, if these numbers help you, the salary packages, if the diversity of the batch helps you, go ahead with that. Find a reason to get yourself motivated. That's very important. The first golden rule, get yourself motivated. Rishu says, how much percentile for IMA Agri Business Management? Rishu, I have no idea about that. I'm sorry that I didn't look at that program altogether. Anna, your question is it necessary that we should have at least 4 to 5 hours of analysis? It depends. Let's say you have been analyzing, in the first go it was important to have a long analysis, but let's say you analyze your problem and your problem is that you are lacking speed. It's done. The analysis part is done. What is remaining is your work on it, right? Level 1 to 3, I'll just pick Soumya's question. I'll just talk about level 1 to 3's question. I've completed by graduation and I'll be giving CAT 21. Alright, that's 1 year later. Oh, is it okay for you to drop 2 years? I think you should pick up some work, some startup, some NGO, something of that sort. I think that would be helpful. Again, depends a lot on your current profile as well. I'm taking up last question. That's Soumya and Charu's. I'll combine them. How to approach mocks, all right, and concentration. All right, I'll talk about mocks once and concentration once. Till then, if you have any other doubts, you can contact me on different handles. I think you have the this Insta part. I think that's there. Apart from that, you can also give your feedback about how the live chat was, how the live discussion was in the comment section. I'll be grateful for that, and this will help me get better on these live chats. If given a time, I'll probably have a better live chat next time. So I'll be happy to take your feedback. So coming to the last question, which is Charu's concentration part and Soumya's mock test part, right? So I'll talk about concentration first. Now, when you say that you get distracted, why is that? Is it because of the surrounding noise that you're facing? Probably it might happen for you. Or is it because of the thoughts that you have? Don't get yourself time to get distracted. Look at this statement. Analyze the problem statement again and again. You should not have any other thoughts apart from that. What you do is, let's say you read the problem statement 1, and then you start thinking about something else. Stop yourself right then and there. You have to have self-control. That's the most important thing about CAT. Self-control, no ego, apart from the basic theory knowledge. These are the important things, right? And when you're analyzing mocks, Soumya, what is important is that you figure out what is your strength and what is your weakness. Focus on your weakness for now because we have just 40 days left. You don't want to spend time on something that you already know, right? So you don't want to be focusing on something that you already are aware of. So focus on your weakness. How do you identify your weakness? Compare it with your peers, be it friends, be it online portals, be it your percentile that you get from the online coaching institute, right? I think that's it for the questions. That's it for the chat. I had time till 9 only. Yes, I'll be happy to help you guys out much more. You can talk to me on my Instagram, Lakshya.Jha. That's the handle that I follow. That's my handle. Moreover, it's also important that you talk to your friends, talk to your parents. I think that's one important thing. And in the end, I'll be happy to welcome you at IIM Calcutta. I'll be happy to welcome you on the campus. If you score well, if you follow the tips, if you practice hard, I'm sure you will make it there. And I'll be happy to welcome you there. So that's it from my side. Would be glad to see you in Joka. And yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. Please leave your feedback on the comments or share the video if you feel that there's a friend who might need this particular discussion. Right. All right. Yes, I can take it up later on as well.